When someone dies and returns, you expect fear, you expect confusion, you expect gratitude. You don't expect this. They wake up knowing things they have no reason to know, a language never studied, a place never visited, a skill never practiced, a memory that feels older than their own childhood. It doesn't feel imagined, it doesn't feel symbolic, it feels borrowed. Tonight we explore the mysteries of knowledge from nowhere, memories that do not belong to the life carrying them. I'm Candy, and this is Half Haunted Chronicles. Borrowed memory is one of the rarest and most unsettling NDE after effects. It doesn't fit neatly into any explanation, not reincarnation, not imagination, not genetics, not time overlap alone. It sits in the space between them. Experiencers describe it as a memory that wasn't mine, something I remembered without living, a skill that arrived already formed, a life that brushed past me and stayed. Researchers use clinical language, experiencers use a simpler one. They came back to me. Tonight's stories push us closest to the edge of identity itself. Memory is supposed to belong to the person who lived it, but after death, that rule doesn't always hold. These are the memories that came back attached to the wrong life. The woman who spoke a forgotten language. Erica nearly died during childbirth. She survived. She woke weak, disoriented, and grateful. Within days, she began speaking phrases no one around her recognized. Not nonsense, structured speech. Linguists identified it as Old Norse, a dialect extinct for centuries. Erica hadn't studied it, hadn't heard it, had no interest in history, but she knew when to use them. Erica later said, "It feels like someone else's childhood is stored in my head." The boy who remembered a lost village. 9-year-old Colin nearly died from an infection. He recovered. He recovered physically. Afterward, he began drawing the same place again and again. Stone walls, a well carved with a star. A historian recognized the layout. It matched a coastal village destroyed in the 1600s. Rarely documented, long gone. When shown old maps, Colin pointed calmly. That was my house. The roof broke before the fire. When asked how he knew, he said, I remembered living there, but it wasn't me. The woman who returned knowing surgery. Dana died for 4 minutes after a car accident, before the NDE. She had no medical training. Afterward, her hands knew things, knots she'd never practiced, tools she never touched. At a restaurant, she instinctively saved a choking stranger using a maneuver ER doctors later described as unusually advanced. Dana said, I didn't come back with a skill, I came back remembering being taught. The man carrying someone else's trauma. Cafe survived a scaffolding collapse at work. He returned quiet, changed. Helicopters triggered panic attacks, sweat, shaking, flashes of sand, fire, shouting. None of it belonged to his life. A trauma specialist recognized the details. Rafe was describing a real military attack, one that happened before he was born. Rafe whispered, It's not my trauma, but I'm remembering it. The girl who remembered another home. Lanny nearly drowned at 4. Afterward, she spoke of her other family. A mother with silver bracelets, a brother who carved birds from wood, a yellow house facing the ocean. Years later, on a coastal trip, Lanny ran ahead and stopped. That's where I lived before. The house was abandoned. Inside, on a shelf, sat a carved wooden bird. Her mother later said it wasn't reincarnation, it was memory that found a new place to live. This episode unsettles me because it forces one question we all avoid. What is a self? If someone can return with memories that aren't theirs, skills that they've never learned, and pain they've never lived, then identity isn't as sealed as we pretend. Maybe consciousness isn't a closed room, and maybe it's a hallway. And when someone steps outside the body and comes back, the doors don't always shut behind them. Maybe memories don't belong to people. Maybe people belong to memory. And maybe who we are isn't limited to one body, one history, or one lifetime. Tonight we explored borrowed memory, knowledge from nowhere, skills unearned, memories unlived. Next episode, we move closer to the edge. What happens when experiencers return with the ability to sense death approaching? Not just their own, but someone else's. Until then, stay curious and always, always stay haunted.